So we're gonna have Caprice Post with Microsoft. She is a senior account technology strategist, and Microsoft is one of our gold sponsors. Caprice has been with Microsoft for 18 months, and before joining Microsoft, she was for 29 years at the University of Utah, where she held multiple leadership roles. Please let me help me welcome Caprice Post to the stage here.
Hello. I'm really happy to talk to you guys today. One of the things I was really excited about when I looked at this conference was talking about diversity. So I was pretty excited when I was told, hey, would you like to speak? Yes, absolutely. This is an exciting time for me. First, I'm going to introduce you to our Microsoft education team that's here today. We have Carl Sweetland and Sam Buckhalter that are here. They're in the back. And we're part of our education virtual team, and we work with University of Oregon, and which is why we're here today. So we know this. Cybersecurity has a problem. We've talked about it already today, but there's a major gap between the skilled people that we have and the skilled people that we need in order to be able to really address these cybersecurity issues and be proactive. We end up so reactive in this environment. One other thing that's quite interesting is that women make up less than 1/4 of the cybersecurity workforce. That's pretty small. As Jose mentioned, I started at the University of Utah in the mid-90s, well, maybe early 90s. But I was the only woman in the room. It was very common for people to come up to me and say, hey, would you go get us the coffee? Will you take the notes? When I would say, no, I'm an IT engineer, they would look with surprise and just be shocked and walk off. We are so much better now. It is a wonderful place, and we have many opportunities for women in the workforce, but we can do better. The industry needs to address the skills gap and bring greater visibility to women in cybersecurity if it's ever going to address the gender and skills gap we currently face, from Forbes magazine. So women in security, in 2019, they were saying there's 20% of the global security workforce. While this number's grown a little, so we're getting more, it highlights there's still a need to do better here. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Microsoft is doing to address this diversity issue. First thing is they really are focused on building these equitable pathways to diversify our job workforce. So some of the things, sorry, I have to get close because I need my reading glasses. The issues are, we have this challenge, these cyber attacks that are threatening our country today. And most of our students, only 3% actually, are really in computer and information system programs. That's a problem. We need to get our students engaged because in 5 years, 10 years, we won't have the workforce. We'll have a bigger problem than we do today. We know that the hackers are growing exponentially. We need to be growing at that same rate. So the opportunity with nearly 500,000 open cybersecurity roles in the US, cybersecurity will help launch our students into high-paying jobs. And this is one thing people don't talk about a lot when you're a student. But if you want to get into IT or cybersecurity, you have a really good chance to stay employed, even during a pandemic, and to make a really nice living wage. And I think that's important. Microsoft has a commitment that they will help skill 250,000 people in cybersecurity by 2025, starting with new community college and nonprofit partnerships to hopefully cut that US talent gap by 50%. One of the biggest challenges that are facing us today is the demand for these qualified professionals. I know it's a theme, I'm gonna keep saying it all day, but it really we need to understand this is traditionally male-dominated industry. And while diversity has been a big issue, and we've talked a lot about in the past 5 to 10 years, we haven't been able to quite move the dial as much as we need to. Microsoft's mission statement, empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. It's reflected in Microsoft's hiring policy, where they aim to hire staff that represent everyone on the planet. Women, men, people of color. This is an important piece of Microsoft's culture, and it's one of the reasons I love working for Microsoft. So I'm going to give you a little quote. It's not little. It's a long quote. And I know that I hate slideshows where people put a bunch of words up and then read it to you. But I think the important message here, and I really, really want people to understand, is that this line, it is indisputable that at a certain level, either cultural or structural barriers, opportunities, they shrink drastically for women, and they are often judged more harshly if they do excel. We have a lot of these predisposed, preconfirmed bias. We don't even know it. How do we address that? I mean, often women are held to a higher standard in the security space, where a young male coming into this space may have great ideas and they are instantly recognized, and where a woman would be, it does happen, they're kind of put down or they're not listened to. And one of the important pieces about diversity is that you listen to every voice at the table. Women, men, people of color all have very important roles to play in cybersecurity. As these hackers get smarter, social engineering has been one of the easy ways to get through to people. You need to understand all of those cultural types that are out there. So you can't build a better cybersecurity workforce if you don't understand the people you're trying to protect, and if they are not a part of your cybersecurity team. So how do we do this? I say a little bit about what Microsoft does. We focus it on our hiring. We offer a lot of opportunities that I'll kind of go over. But what do you do? So as an individual or as a business, it really starts with this commitment, setting these statements, these policies, making sure that you can clearly articulate that increasing diversity is a priority for your organization. That I cannot tell you how important it is. When it's part of your mission statement, when it's part of what you do every day, you will start to make a change. Also, it starts young. One way is training our young people. You know, we talked about this earlier, and it is so important that you use your voice, whether it's in your legislative areas or in your workplace, but get companies to help support them. Get your educators, have your local governments, make sure that our students are being educated in IT and cybersecurity. A lot of things that happen, we have a lot of hackathons that are often out. So many IT companies, Microsoft of course, but others out there, love to sponsor these because it means that we're building our workforce. So we're happy to do that. And you'll find that there's so many opportunities out there. We talked about Girls Who Code, STEM, there's a She Code project. There's so many out there that we couldn't even list them all. Another thing is you want to provide a platform. Women and young girls, they need role models. And all of us here can be a role model in some way. But make sure that you have mentorship programs. They have found that mentorship programs for women in technology are more effective than any other means to engage them. People need to have someone to look up to, someone to aspire to. Be that person. Start those programs. That's how we will affect change. People need to be able to see themselves in the role. So if you are a pioneer or you're an underrepresented group, make sure that you step forward. You all need to take that initiative to be part of the solution and make it easier for those that come after you. The nation's community colleges serve the majority of underrepresented students, and they provide them access to higher education and skills needed for today's highly technical careers. This program allows us to work with Microsoft to provide timely, relevant, cost-effective skills training that allows today's students to become tomorrow's employees. So what this is, and I'm not going to read it all to you, it's a bit of an eye chart, but this will be available. These are some of the programs that Microsoft has working with community colleges and K-12 space. Other places and things that we do, we have huge Minecraft, coding and Minecraft initiatives all over. It is one of the easiest ways to get your students engaged. They get to play, they get to have fun. Yesterday we were in a meeting and we talked a little bit about badges and gamification for adults. While it's not as important for adults, it is important for children. And make IT fun. Don't make it a burden. Make things like passwords or passphrases a challenge. Have a test. My own children, I would always use a password on our home computer, and I changed it once a week. And I would make them try to find it. And I did find that one day my daughter called me and she said, "Mom, now what high school did you go to?" And I told her. She goes, "Oh, you told me about that dog. It was your very first dog. He died. What was his name?" And I told her, because it's my daughter. I thought she was really interested. I continued talking a little longer, but she was really diligent. And then later she said, "Oh, and what was Great-Grandma Burnham's maiden name?" At that point, I did have a little alarm bell go off. Sorry. And my mom called me. And apparently my daughter had taken our computer to her house and was trying to hack the password. At the time, she was 9. I think kids now are even better. They understand that even more. So take advantage of these programs. If your business doesn't have a program or contributes or volunteers in a program to help your young people, get one started. Take the initiative and be that grassroots effort. These are a couple other spots. There's Help a Sister on LinkedIn, and we've got a link here. It's really great. It's a nice opportunity for mentoring, which we talk about. Ann Johnson has a post on welcoming more women into cybersecurity. Diana Kelly's post is welcoming a more diverse workforce into cybersecurity is also great. And then bookmark our Microsoft security blog. That's really important, of course. Thank you for your time today, and I just really want to leave you with this, is that we look at big companies and software companies like Microsoft or Cisco or Proofpoint, and those that are here today. We talk about how we'd like them to help us, but what we can do as just individual contributors is that we can help make changes happen at that grassroots level. Oftentimes, companies have a lot of difficulty getting people engaged because it's one more job, one more committee. Be the mentor for your young people. Be the one who says, let's get a group together. Let's go participate. Do a field trip with young kids. But if we are to address diversity, inclusion, and this huge skills gap that we see today, every one of us, particularly those in IT, need to be involved and need to play a part in building that next generation. Thank you for your time. My LinkedIn profile is up there, and feel free to reach out after.